On this episode of Rock School Proprietor Podcast, Mandy and I talk through a problem that Mandy's having right now in her studio. What to do when you can't meet the demand for your services. All her classes are full. What does she do? Open up new classes? Hire more instructors? Open another location? Find out on this episode. Welcome to Rock School Proprietor Podcast. I'm John Kazicki.
I'm Mandy York.
And Mandy, you walked in here today and you said something to me about the classes that you just started post-holidays, so it's New Year. And what did you say about your classes?
Well, yeah, I'm starting a new semester. I said something exciting. All my classes are full.
All your classes
We are
full.
booked. It's great.
Which is great.
It is great.
And then you said,
but. Yeah. So I've got this on my mind right now. I want to talk about it. Starting a new semester, new year, classes are full. This is new for us to not really have any wiggle room in any of our groups. But
so
it's given
you
me.
mean you have zero space for anyone right now?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, we're used to having, full classes. You get, Mondays are full or, Saturday mornings are full, whatever. But all of my time slots are full right now. And this is a first for us. And I think what I said to you was that it makes my skin itch a little bit. Because we still are getting inquiries from people that are interested in classes. And I don't have room for them. So I really hate turning people away. And I think this is, I don't have a strong business background. It is great to have full classes. Is it great to have this like scarcity thing going on where people realize, you're popular, you've got a good thing going on, people want to be in your classes. Hopefully next time registration rolls around, those people understand that and they'll grab a spot while they're open. But I also worry because of, the length of my semester about not staying top of mind for people, right? If you turn people away, how do you make sure that they come back next time? So that's kind of the gist of it. That's what's on my mind right now.
Well, and I don't really, with this, what we're talking about, I don't know if I have an answer for you.
Right.
So I think this is more just going to be a conversation to talk it through. And maybe in talking it through, you'll get some ideas. That's really part of the reason why we started this podcast in the first place, because we've had these conversations in the past and we just thought, well, let's talk about them. So this is really freestyle.
Yeah. And I want to hear what this looks like in your school too.
Okay.
Because it's different than mine.
So we deal with this as well, but kind of in a different way. In particular, when you said this, what it makes me think about, and just to kind of fill in any sort of blanks, your classes you're talking about are your Music Together classes. You have a limited number of classes. You have a limited number of people that you can have in each class. And right now, they're all full. So for me, where I see this come up, and I've been experiencing this a little bit lately as well, where I see this come up is in our band program, also our groups. It often will surface, most frequently, I would say, with availability of drummers that we can fit into our groups. So with almost every other instrument, when we put a band together, we can do 2 guitar players, we can do 3 guitar players, we can do like multiple keyboard players, multiple vocalists, we've even done multiple bass players. But when it comes to drummers, we can really only do one drummer in a group. Now, I've kind of experimented with some, like in those situations where in order to accommodate more people, and I want to be clear that for me, accommodating more people is not necessarily about looking at that as an opportunity to make more money. I mean, obviously that's what we do, but for me, and I'm guessing it's for you too, what you're really talking about is you want to make this experience available to as many people as possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the things we've done in the past with drummers in particular is we say like, oh, hey, do you want to maybe come into this group? We've got another drummer already. We could teach you how to play bass in this group, right? So open their musical minds, right?
Okay.
And it's worked. It's been really successful. But we still run into this problem, and we've had it recently as well, where we just don't have space for some of these kids. Mm-hmm. So I've also kind of been putting on my thinking cap, as they say, right? To figure out, well, what can we do so that we can make this opportunity available for more of these kids that really want to have this experience. So that's kind of like, I guess, what it looks like in the rock school for me. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I love that you get creative, right?
Well, yes, I think our creativity as musicians and creatives serves us in running our businesses if we sort of lean into it. So I'm always looking for creative ways to do things.
Yeah. But your example of, putting a bass in the hands of a drummer, I mean, that's great. That's good for the student too. I love that they're learning more than one instrument.
Well, yeah. I mean, for us, that's part of the philosophy, which is if you learn how to play one instrument, well, then you've learned skills that you can then apply to other instruments. Mm-hmm. You're not stuck in this box of I only play guitar or I only play piano. You can apply those skills elsewhere too. And I think that's important that kids get to see that.
Yeah. Yep. Cool.
So going back to your situation though, you had mentioned that's where you are. You've got, and inquiries that are coming in. I mean, it's January right now as we're recording this. This is a big month. Yeah, it's a big month for music schools. Mm-hmm. Are you considering putting together another class and trying to shoehorn another class together? What are your thoughts?
Right. So I probably should go back. Sure. If we're full, what should you do? Open more classes, add more to your schedule, right? Hire more teachers. And I'm at a personal capacity. So maybe I should clarify that, right? Mm-hmm. This is a personal capacity. This is what me and my staff have scheduled. This is what we've committed to. So I'm not in a place where I want to be adding more classes right now.
Right.
So we have been thinking of creative ways to get more people in so that maybe we're not adding more weekly hours, but we're sprinkling in some like drop-in opportunities for these families that are inquiring to come in and visit so that we stay top of mind for the next time around. And so days when we are not teaching, we're opening, and we've just begun, but we're in the midst of trying to schedule some special events, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A themed class to get some people in. And then maybe towards the end of the semester, I think I'll schedule some demo-specific classes. Yeah. Where, come in and see a demonstration class for all these new families that are inquiring.
I like that idea because you said, how can you keep these people engaged that you're not able to get in classes right now so that when you open classes again in 12 weeks?
9 more weeks.
Okay. Yep. So when you open classes again, that they're going to still want to do the classes.
Yeah.
And so you're saying, well, let's strategically plan these days that it's kind of like a special drop-in class. Mm-hmm. I think that's great.
They get a taste of it.
Yeah, you could time it out so that it's maybe once every 3 weeks or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Yep. That's the idea. That's where we're going right now. I'm thinking of, listeners out there, maybe not teaching music together classes, but things like, I don't know, ukulele, group instruction, other stuff like that. I've closed my registration because my student cap isn't arbitrary. right?
Mhm.
It is specific.
Right.
And some of my classes have a couple more students than others, but they are curated a little bit so that the families are getting a good experience.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You like, that's all, I think, that's all important to offering a good service.
Yes.
You don't want to cram like as many people in there just because.
Yes, exactly. I might have a class that only has 9 students because of the personalities and ages that are in that group. And so I know that that's going to work.
Yeah.
I have another class with 13 or 14. It works. I'm not cramming more people into one class because I have the physical space or because I want to make that extra buck, right?
Right.
We are in the business of creating good experiences for these families. So, yeah, I mean, the events, the kind of drop-in classes throughout the semester, that's where I'm at right now. My admin is so great. She's really working on keeping track of these. So we can talk about back end here, keeping track of these inquiries and people that are on your wait lists, people that have reached out via email or phone to inquire about availability and just to learn about the program. Keep that list separate, right?
Yes.
And that's what we plan to do. We won't be reaching out to our entire database, our entire email list when these opportunities come up.
Right. So when you have these special classes, first dibs is all those people who are on that list who didn't get into the classes for this semester.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's something you want to think about. Reach out to those people first so that they can get in and try you out. Otherwise, they'll just go to the people that are already there,
right.
already in your database, right?
Yeah.
Be strategic that way.
So let me ask you this. I've run into situations where I've had instructors who like my instructors are full. Like maybe, I've got only a few drum instructors, or I've only got a couple piano instructors, and the schedule is completely full. And someone says, "Hey, really want to get some piano lessons for my kid," and I just don't have space for them. In the past, one thing that I've done is I've recommended other instructors in the area. Because, again, I realize I'm in this to help people. And if I can't help them right away, well, then maybe I can help them by recommending someone else in the area. It's, like I'm obviously not getting anything from it except good karma, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
But potentially they're able to find an instructor. If it's an instructor that I know, kind of giving them a referral, which is good. Is that even a possibility in your situation, or is it something that you've considered?
Well, it's for the younger ones, there isn't a whole lot in the area.
Yeah.
That does exactly what I do, but there are some. I definitely have referred to other Music Together areas or Music Together centers in Southeast Michigan. I refer families to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have kids that are of my rhythm kids' age in that age group, but we refer to each other.
Right.
I think it's really good to kind of establish yourself as like a local expert, a trusted resource, right? It's great to refer. I get questions all the time, like as my kids are aging out of the program, what could we do next? Do you know any piano teachers? What do you know about the rock school in town?
Right.
And so I think that's really good practice.
I agree. That's all part of, like you said, being a trusted expert, providing a good experience for as long as you can, because what that's going to do is, as in your situation, as these kids are aging out of your program, there's nothing else you can do for them, right?
Yeah.
They're like, they've aged out of your program. The last good deed you can do is recommend someplace else that you feel is a good fit, is going to work well for them. Because then what you've done is, while you're not directly benefiting from having that kid in the class anymore, you still have someone who's going to refer to you.
Yeah.
Because they've trusted you for how many years, and they still feel like they're getting value from being connected with you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how great referrals happen.
Yes. And you've been here nearly a decade, right? I mean, at this point in the game, you see that, right?
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I get people telling me all the time, so-and-so told me about class. And it's a really testament to your studio and program when you get those coming in.
Right.
It's great. Yeah.
This is starting to get kind of weird because we're giving each other props.
All right.
So I guess with your circumstances right now, what are you going to do?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think that's what I've got.
Is that the solution?
That is the solution that I have right now.
Okay.
I guess I'm curious about how everybody feels about, scarcity versus having available openings,
Yeah, that's
right.
That's a good one, right? Because if you think about, say, a concert, tickets go on sale. If it is very popular, those tickets are going to sell out. And best case scenario, if the artist plans for that, then, oh, surprise, we opened up another date, right?
Yeah.
Or that's it. That's all we got. On to the next city.
The next time they come to town, right? You better be on it.
Yeah.
And those tickets.
Some people use scarcity as a sales tactic. We only have this many spots as a means to kind of motivate people to sign up or to purchase or whatever. It's a tough one.
It is.
I mean, that's, in a sense, that's really what we want. Right?
Yeah. I suppose, I bring it up today and talking through it because I don't know that I really love it. I feel it's great. We're full. I can't complain. Certainly can't complain. But maybe see how next semester goes. And then I need to expand my offerings so that I do have room for more.
I think this is, I think psychologically you feel.
It is a psychological thing.
Here we go. I think psychologically you feel like maybe guilty and like that you can't accommodate them, right?
Yeah.
That I don't think anyone's going to be, I doubt anyone's going to be like, oh, Mandy's the worst.
Yeah.
I think that's
not
what that's going to do. I really think it's just going to, again, motivate people to be a bit more proactive and try and get in sooner. It's a positive for your reputation that that many people want to be in your classes and they do sell out. So I don't think you should feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I understand why you feel bad about it, but I don't think you should feel bad about it.
Right. This is just coming to me too. I have a mentor who actively mentors directors, and she recently had posted in a forum, like, offer fewer classes than you think you can fill. And I read that and I thought, oh, that's not really my approach. But maybe this is, the approach of some directors, some studio owners. I want to fill everything and I don't want those empty spots.
I've taken that approach with a few things in the past, but the technique was, we're going to offer this many spots or this many classes, but if those sell out, here's my plan for another class.
Yeah. That's probably the best thing to do.
Yeah. And maybe do you think that's what that mentor or that instructor was suggesting?
She did not specify that, but that was a recommendation that had been put out in a forum. And I was like, oh.
Again, psychologically, if you offer fewer classes than you think you can do and you sell those out, well, then you get a nice little ego bump. Right? Yeah, sold out. And then anything above and beyond that, you feel good about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
as they say, it's a good problem to
It's a good
have.
problem. Yeah.
But I when I hear that phrase, it's a good problem to have, I immediately think like, yeah, but it's still a problem.
It's still a problem. Yeah.
Like, how do I solve
It
that
still
problem?
needs to be solved.
Even though it's like a quote unquote good problem, it's still a problem. So I want to find a solution for it. I think you have a solution. I mean, I think these drop-in classes are a great option. Yeah, it's not a perfect solution, but you're giving people something rather than saying, "Oh, sorry," and shutting the door.
Right. Yeah. And I think you're right. That's the important thing for everyone to remember out there listening.
Have you said to these people yet, or is it part of the plan, hey, I'm sorry we couldn't work you into a class this semester, but here's this thing that we're going to do? Or is that just hasn't come yet?
No, that is out there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think that's good because then
they
feel like, they feel like you're still thinking about them.
Yes.
You're still actively working on trying to get them into one of your classes.
Yeah.
That's a positive.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so how does this work for your rock band? Can I ask you real quick?
You can.
Okay. Because you don't let people join rock band mid-session, do you? Or?
Not usually.
No?
Yeah, there's usually a cutoff. I mean, it kind of depends on the program and the age range and like what we're doing. However, we have a monthly drop-in jam program that we do. And oftentimes, if we're not able to get someone into a performance band, then we say, you could do this. It's only once a month. It's not the full thing, but it's still a great program. You still get all the benefits minus the performance. So we've done that. If we can't get people into our performance band program at the beginning of the session, we do that. We offer that as an option if we're like mid-session and we get a new student and they're fired up, we say like, hey, we can't get you into a group right now, but here's this other option. And actually recently, we're talking about how can we modify that drop-in jam program so that it's kind of an in-between our full-on performance. So maybe it meets a little bit more frequently and maybe there is a performance involved. So, I'm kind of in the same boat where I'm trying to actively come up with solutions to meet the demand that we necessarily can't fulfill. Mm-hmm. So
I like that. Yeah, you're doing the same thing. You're getting them in here in this space.
Right.
Seeing how cool it is, having fun. And then, when sessions open up again, they can join a band.
Right. And then that does bring up, and you had kind of alluded to this, what do you do in the future? Mm-hmm. Do you expand? Do you try and hire? Do you find more ways to accommodate more people? Which is that's a real personal thing. I think that each of us have to decide, because if, like for you, for example, if you decide like, okay, maybe it is time to hire again, or maybe it is time to expand again, well, that changes your job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. And then is that the job that you want?
Yes.
I've been in similar situations where I've thought like, okay, well, do I look for a bigger location? And what does that also come with? So I don't think you necessarily can say, I need to solve this problem, which is I need to meet more demand by getting another location. Because then that like, while you might be solving problems, you are then handed this whole other catalog of responsibilities.
Yes.
And those might not be the responsibilities that you want to take on just to solve the demand problem.
That is a really, really good point and good thing to remember.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, I had kind of mentioned, sure, I could offer more classes. I've got one morning a week of availability, but my teachers and I, we've decided like this is my capacity, personal capacity right now. So yeah, keep that in mind. We've talked to studio owners on this show that have studios twice or more bigger than what we have, right? We're all different sizes, and you got to do what's best for you personally too.
Yes.
For yourself, your culture, all that stuff.
How are you feeling about it?
I'm glad we talked.
Good.
I feel better. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
So, well, let's wrap this episode up then.
Okay.
I'm glad it helped.
Thanks, John.
Okay. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
I do have some follow-up thoughts that came to mind right after our conversation. Another thing that Mandy could do is she could raise her prices. That's a pretty common tactic if you can't keep up with demand. By raising the prices for your lessons or your classes, what'll happen is it'll send that demand down a little bit. Fewer people will want to take the classes because it'll be a little bit out of their price range. Added benefit, Mandy might make a little bit more money. Now, we talked about how that wasn't really the whole point of her conundrum, but that could be another strategy that she employs. If you have topic suggestions or even some questions, please contact us at info@rockschoolproprietor.com. We always love to hear from you, and we love to consider your suggestions for the show. Show notes and transcripts for this and all episodes can be found at rockschoolproprietor.com. I'm at rock.school.proprietor on Instagram if you'd like to connect with me there, and also as John Kozicki on LinkedIn. If you enjoyed the show and gained insight from our conversation, then we count that as a win. All we ask in return is that you pay it forward. Please share the show with someone you think needs to hear it.